Alright, hey guys, so in the last video we talked about the most important organ for goal setting and why goal setting doesn't really work. And what we went through was the two basic divisions of your brain, the conscious and the non-conscious. So the conscious is the part of your brain where you think and reason, where you make decisions and you choose your goals. And if your goal were a ship, the conscious brain is the captain deciding where you want it to go. It charts the course, and it gives the orders. Um, but the big lie was just because you've decided to do something with your conscious brain doesn't mean you're actually going to do it, because your conscious mind isn't really in control. So your conscious mind has just one giant handicap. And this is just all review from the last video. It doesn't get things done in the long term. It might be the captain of the ship, but the guys down in the engine room actually make the boat go, and those guys are your non-conscious brain. So your conscious takes up 70%, 17% of your brain mass, while non-conscious takes up 83%. And your conscious controls 2 to 4% of perceptions and behavior, where the non-conscious controls 96 to 98% of behavior. So if you really want to change and set your goals, you have to be able to literally rewire your non-conscious brain to be focused on those goals. And the thing about the non-conscious is your conscious brain is controlled by you and your free will, but the non-conscious brain, it's a servant and only serves the goals that have been placed inside of it. It never judges, it just delivers the results that you tell it to deliver. So along with running your basic functions like breathing and keeping you alive, your habits live in your non-conscious, where like if you think about learning how to walk, at first it was hard and you had to learn how to do it, but then now you can walk without thinking about it. Or riding a bike, it's hard at first, but now you can just go jump on the bike and just always ride it, because it's literally been ingrained into your non-conscious brain. So the reason that you can walk and ride a bike without really having to think about it is because it has literally been wired by constant use over and over again. It's literally been wired into your non-conscious brain. Now you don't have to think about it, just because it will just constantly run. So today let's talk about how to rewire your non-conscious brain. So there's basically two blockers to you actually fulfilling your goals and your dreams in life. And they can either block your dreams very easily, or they can actually help you to live your dreams and kind of accelerate you accomplishing your goals. So the first of the two blockers is the reticular activating system. The second is the psychocybernetic mechanism. I know they're real fancy words, but let me just explain what they mean. So the reticular activating system, your brain literally processes 400 billion, that's billion with the B, 400 billion bits of information a second, and you're aware of maybe 2,000 bits. So for every one bit that you're aware of, there are 200 million bits of information happening behind the scenes. And your reticular activator sifts through all of this information and only tells your conscious the things that you think are important. So I just recently had a baby. So if it's my job to take care of my baby and I'm sleeping, there can be noise outside, there can be cars driving by, there can be all kinds of random noises, and none of them will wake me up. But as soon as I hear my baby cry, I'm up immediately. And the reason is because my brain is literally sifting through information even as I sleep, and my reticular activating system, or my RAS, has told my brain that my baby is important. And so immediately I'll jump up and go and make sure my baby's alright. Now it also will sift through information in a big giant room of hundreds of people, and find the exact thing that you think your brain, or that you're telling your brain is important. I mean, have you ever been in a room full of hundreds of people, and you've been thinking about how to fix this or how to fix that. Your brain has just totally been focused on this one thing, and all of a sudden you just zero in on a conversation 15 feet away of the people talking about the very exact thing that that you have been looking for. And the reason that your brain is able to do that is because it's literally sifted through billions of bits of information that are coming in through that party and found the thing that is important to you, that you've told it is important, and will basically say, look, to your non-conscious, to your conscious brain, like, this is important to you, so this is happening. But here is the big kicker. If you focus on what you don't want, your reticular activating system will find the exact thing you're telling it you don't want because it thinks that is important. Like, for example, in relationships, if you say, I never want to be hurt again, I don't want to be rejected, and I don't want to be let down again, and you get in a new relationship, since you're telling it that you don't want to be let down, rejected, you don't want this or that, it's telling your brain that this is important. So all it's looking for is those things that you told it that you don't want. So instead of saying something like, I'm going to find the love of my life and he's going to treat me great, and the person might very well be treating you great, but since your reticular activating system is turned on to notice the things that you don't want, you're actually going to see the things that you don't want instead of maybe the person is loving you just the way you need it, but your brain has sifted through that information and counted it as unworthy of your attention, and it won't show you it. So it's really important when you're setting your goals that you're saying not what you don't want, but you're telling them what you do want. So here's the second blocker, or it could actually be a huge gift to helping you live your goals. It's called the psycho-cybernetic mechanism. So basically, this is your system's autopilot to keep you safe. And so it knows your normal path of life. And so if you set a goal and it goes against your it's also known as your set points. So we have weight set points, we have financial set points, we have relational set points. If you go outside of your norm, your psycho-cybernetic mechanism will turn on and say, okay, yeah, this is a little bit odd, I'm a little bit afraid, and so it'll just, at a non-conscious level, it will take you back to your old way of life. So for example, with eating, if you've ate like crap for a long time, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to be healthy, and you start trying to eat healthy, after a while your psycho-cybernetic mechanism is just going to go, okay, this is a little bit weird, I don't like this isn't our normal way of life, and it'll send you back to the other way. So I want to talk about how you can actually make sure your reticular activating system and your psycho-cybernetic mechanism, how you can actually make sure that they're turned on to not be blockers, but to be accelerators to you actually fulfilling and accomplishing your goals. So let's talk about how you actually change your brain and make sure it's turned on right. So, NASA did an experiment a number of years ago where they gave a group of astronauts these goggles, and these goggles would actually flip everything upside down. And these astronauts were required to wear these 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the crazy thing that they found was at the 26th day, all of a sudden one of the astronauts, everything literally just flipped right side up. And over the next couple days, they found that every other astronaut that was doing the same exact experiment had the exact same thing happen to them. And so what they found was somewhere in between 26 to 30 days, the brain would literally rewire itself to turn everything right side up. So it takes about 26 to 30 days of conscious focus to be able to rewire your brain. So this isn't something that you can really go and do this weekend, but by constant use and doing what I'm going to teach you, you can actually rewire your brain And but the thing is if at all during the 26 to 30 days, if they took off those goggles even for a little bit, the rewiring wouldn't happen, which means it has to be intense focus. You can't deviate. You have to do the thing for a good 26 to 30 days, and it will literally rewire your brain. So here's the thing. Your non-conscious brain, it doesn't know the difference between a real actual experience and one that you just imagine. And so this is the power of using your brain to imagine and visualize things. So, and the more you think something, the more you think the same thing over and over again, it literally gets rewired into your brain. So there's actually 4 steps to change, and I want you to write this down if you can. So it's your passion statements, you visualize with emotion, you're doing it 3 times a day, and then you set up visual and audio cues. So this is how it works. So in the purpose discovery process, at the end of the very first module, I have you create passion statements that are very clear, very specific about the thing that matters most to you in your life, and it covers the 8 core areas of your life. So the first thing that you need to do is have your passion statements written out and in front of you. So the second thing that you want to do is you want to actually visualize the passion statement being lived out, and I really want you to feel what it would feel like, because when you have when you're doing you have a memory with emotion, it gets ingrained in your brain more. So you need to visualize with emotion each one of those passion statements, and really it'd be great if you do this 3 times a day, when you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed, and sometimes do it during the day, like about lunchtime, and do it the same time every single day for a month, basically. And the 4th thing is set up some sort of visual or audio cues where you have pictures of the goal that you want to accomplish up on a board or somewhere where you sit all the time. Set up audio cues where you're actually reading out your passion statements and you listen to them. And doing these 4 things will actually rewire your brain to be aimed at the very thing that you think is important. So the last change strategy that I want to talk about is when you're rewiring your brain, you have to do something to actually make it happen. So there's 2 questions that you need to answer whenever you want to change anything. You have to say, can I do it, and is it worth it? You have to answer the question of ability and motivation. And you need to answer these 2 questions in the 3 main areas of your life. So there has to be personal motivation and ability, social motivation and ability, structural motivation and structural ability. So personal is what you're going to do to personally motivate yourself and personally be able to get you to do it. Social motivation and ability is getting someone that you love or you have a relationship with to keep you accountable, motivate you, or for example, my wife, she cooks for me, so I have to have her helping me out to be able to do what I need to do with my my diet. And the 3rd thing is having things in your environment to make your goal actually happen. So those 3 things, you need to be able to get all 3 of those things working on behalf of your goal to make it happen. Now, in a couple days, I'm going to be sending you another video sharing with you how I am doing this very thing for something that I've been trying to get done for, I don't know, number of years, and I'm actually seeing huge progress in the goal. I haven't been able to do it, or I just haven't done it for a number of years, but I've actually had huge progress in it. So I want to just kind of open up the window into my life and show you or explain to you something that I've been doing that's been bringing great change to my goals. So look out in your email for that video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. I would love it if you have any questions, comments, if you leave a comment in the box below this video, and I'll do my best to answer comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So until then, talk soon.